All right, so a neck was off last week, which was great for you
Yeah.
because my last week I lost $900.
You know when it
That
was
is,
like a player doesn't play for a couple of weeks and then somehow his value improves? Like, oh, he's actually a better player than you remember because he was shit before and then he hasn't played and everyone else shat the bed. I think it was
yeah.
a week where I didn't have to do nothing. I just stayed away,
And you
eating
just watched me
and
lose.
watching.
I mean, if you look at this, literally every bet except for Tottenham lost.
Yeah, because
Every one of my bets.
Forest beat Villa 3-0 or something crazy like that, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah, Nottingham Forest. So what I was betting, because you had all of these bets that were like 10 to 1, and I was
Yeah.
like, one of these has to hit.
Wait, you
One
put your
of these has to
wait,
hit.
did you put money on Fulham?
Yeah.
Wow, you scumbag. Your guys are going for the quadruple and you put money on Fulham. Wow. They're
I'm
up.
I'm I'm just trying to make money, man. Like
Money,
there's
money,
no
money,
love in this shit.
money hungry motherfucker. All right.
Yeah,
Let's
well, fake money, hungry motherfucker. But yeah, no, I can separate the two. But anyway, so right now on a weekly basis, we're 2-2. Because last week you made zero. I made negative 900, so you won last week. Um,
does that even count? Like you guys give me a lot more credit. Like, oh, I'm abstaining, I'm not gonna bet just because I'm that shit at it. And then we'll bet this week. Oh, Villa
All
Man City.
right,
Fuck.
let's start with Villa Man City.
Are Man City ever gonna win a game? God damn it.
Oh,
Shit.
but can I say one thing that really pissed me off last week? I forgot where it was. Oh, yeah, it was Arsenal and Everton.
That was shocking.
Like it
Shocking.
was a tie, and I put the money on Everton winning, which like
Dude,
directionally I was correct as to why I was correct that there'd be an upset, but
Arsenal
like
always beat Everton, especially home. Arsenal, historically, Arsenal always whoop Everton the worst. Everton always lose to Arsenal, barring one game back in like
because the thing about Arsenal, and I mean we can talk about this, is that like I feel like besides teams, there are two variables when it comes to teams, in my opinion. There's how good the team is, but then there's
yeah,
also like what types of teams do they show up against. Arsenal is one of those types of teams where it's like if they have a FIFA ranking of 91, they're going to beat or not 91, 85, 86, right? They're going to beat every single team that's 85 and below, but they're going to lose to every team that is 87 and above. That's my feeling about Arsenal, right? Versus a team like Chelsea last year, were like they could be 78, they could be 89. It doesn't matter. Like every team is a fucking coin flip. You know what I mean? Like they have a better chance against City than they do against the New York Red Bulls, so, right? So um, yeah, I mean, Villa City, is City ever going to win a game? Eventually.
I'm gonna
Question is,
put
does it happen this weekend?
Villa, especially at home. Villa are real formidable at home. I'm gonna put 200 on Villa to do it. Fuck City up even more. Fuck it.
I'm going to put 100 on a tie. I
Odds are great.
think,
Even the tie odds are great. Even City's this is a crazy game with nice odds for anyone really. Even for City to get 1+115 is wild. That's
yeah, I
wild.
think that, like, I know that I got this complete, we both got this completely wrong with Tottenham and City, but I think Villa City games are kind of similar where they're really wonky, and I'm
Yeah,
putting money on a tie on this one.
putting money.
Um,
West Ham,
yeah.
bro. Oh, West Ham, a little bit of a resurgence. Brighton starting to drop points now. They lost the other day to Palace, I think.
But that was Carabao Cup, right?
No, Carabao Cup was Palace Arsenal, and even that was 3-2. That was Jesus hat trick that saved Arsenal there. No, I'm gonna stick it on 100 on the tie. Fuck it.
Yeah, I think I think how should I say this? I think that it is just as ridiculous. I would say it's more ridiculous that Brighton is 140 than Man City is 115. I think that's more ridiculous because West Ham is way worse than Aston Villa. And Brighton right now, I think I think they're right below Man City in the standings, right?
Yeah, I think oh, City might be fifth. They might be above them actually. Oh wait, because they lost the last game. It's close.
City's City's 5, right?
Point off. So who's in fourth? Is Forest still fourth? Holy shit. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, Brighton's now 9th. They dropped. Well, I
Arsenal
mean, you could drop very quickly in these standings by just missing out on a point, right? Um,
fuck, are we 22?
but
Motherfucking
West Ham is 14th. Oh, but
we'd be like seventh or eighth if we'd beaten fucking Forest. If we just done our fucking jobs. Oh no, no, that piece of shit.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, I think this is off. Ipswich, Newcastle.
I hate Ipswich. I fucking hate them. I can't believe they won the other day. I'm so annoyed. Newcastle's not the greatest odds.
Is Newcastle doing well this year?
They're turning a corner. Like they're starting to win games now. They're turning a corner. I think Newcastle would easily win. It's just the odds are shit. So negative 140. Let's stick 200 on it. Fuck it. Let's see.
200 with such shitty odds.
I want to break even. So what? Negative 140. Put 140 on it just to like break
I
even.
mean, no matter what, if you win the bet, you're gonna break even. If you put 50, you're gonna break even. You're just not gonna win $50 back, but
Yeah.
you're still gonna win money, right?
Uh,
Yeah, sure. I mean, put down 200.
you convinced me. All right. Let's go with 50 on Newcastle.
Yeah, I just feel like um Newcastle's like they might have turned it a corner, but they're a little too up and down to really put that much money on. Brentford, Nottingham. Vegas does not respect Nottingham Forest at all. I don't
Brentford,
think.
Brentford at home is a tough fixture, man. Fuck, this might be the game of the week. This could be a very interesting game. 135, 250, 195. The more you overthink, the longer it takes. I'm trying to be like snap decisions with this. I'm gonna go for 150 on Brentford. Fuck it. I need Nottingham Forest to start losing points. Sons of bitches.
Just like you're at $500 right now.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna bet on United, and
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna bet on the Liverpool game.
Euros.
No, I hope Tottenham smoke you lot. I'm not gonna bet on the Liverpool game either because I don't want to jinx it.
Okay, Palace tie Arsenal. How bad are Palace right now? They're
They're
going up in the standings.
starting to win games now. They're turning a corner as well. I think they've got a few.
Yeah.
I think Adam Wharton's still out injured, but they've got a few players coming back. I mean, it was 3-2 in the Carabao Cup. Arsenal obviously played a second team. Arsenal should win this. I mean, come on, guys. Like, all that talk about winning. Yeah, Palace is the one that beat Brighton, especially at home as well. It was crazy. This was a crazy result. This is known as it's named after one of the highways in England. It's known as a, would you believe Palace Brighton is a local derby match? Well, not a local derby, but there's like rivalry there. I still don't know,
Yeah.
but there's this crazy rivalry between Palace and Brighton. It's insane. One's in
I'm
south of London, one's in the south of England, and for some reason they have a rivalry.
Is Chris Richards? Yeah, he's still on Crystal Palace. Why are they not playing him? He's
Oh,
the sec. He's the second coming of Virgil van Dijk. Is he injured?
I have no idea. I don't know much about this kid.
Oh, he's so the big problem with New York. Oh yeah, he's out with a hamstring injury. The big problem with American soccer right now, I know that like pe other people will laugh at us, is that our defense just sucks. Like I would say sucks. It's just we don't have top caliber defensive players. I am willing to say that we have top caliber midfield and offensive players. Like I know it sounds weird for me to say that, but like Christian Pulisic is a top caliber player, right? Um, but we just don't have that central defense, and he's been kind of our big hope for our team. Um, but yeah, Palace tie Arsenal. What do you think?
50 on Arsenal. It has to be Arsenal. If they don't win this game, fuck title. Like they're out. They're just fighting for top four then. It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, without Chris Richards, I mean, with Chris Richards, obviously it's Palace all the way. But without Chris Richards, yeah, I'm gonna put 100 on Arsenal. Um, Fulham tie Southampton.
Oh, Southampton just changed managers. They got rid of Russell Martin, so that's annoyed me. And they're rock bottom of the league. I think they just got the guy the guy at Roma that just got sacked, Ivan Juric. I think he's just joined Southampton. I don't really. This has to be full. It's going to be a Fulham win. It has to be a Fulham win.
But like, how amazing is it that I was able to spell that?
Perfectly. Well, yeah. You know the region well. Be able to get this.
uh
He
so
just got
so so Roma sacked two managers in 1 year.
after Mourinho. De Rossi was named in temporary. Then he did a killer job, so they made him permanent. They sacked him right at the beginning of this season, and then Juric got sacked in November. So
Yeah.
same guys that own. They just bought out Everton, the Friedkin Group. Another 10 teams out of the Premier League out of 20 are owned by Americans or part owned by Americans.
Yeah. I hate to say this, but I mean, I don't hate to say it, I just know you'll be upset by it. But like part of the reason why EPL has become the strongest league over the past 15 years is American money. Like you are the only league that really plays in America because of the language aspect. Same thing as La Liga, like part of what helped them for like 20 years prior was South America, right? Like everybody in South America only watches La Liga because it's all in fucking Spanish, right? In America, it's only EPL teams. So yeah, you guys are about to become a colony of America and of Pakistan,
I
but
get
that's different.
green card then. Fuck, like, all right.
Dude, did you see Trump was talking about making Canada the 51st state?
Dude, if he pulls that off, because then I have residency there. I'm nice then. I could just fucking hey, Canada, please just do it. Just take over. Just you can like X out Vancouver. You guys don't need that. That you can just leave it.
Well,
You take
Trump really loves the Indians, though. He has a lot of them in his cabinet. He has Vivek Ramaswamy, Kash Patel.
there you
You
go. I
know,
mean, let's see. Let's see how the Indians do.
but yeah, Fulham ties Southampton.
Oh, fuck. I'm 600. If I even slapped 100 on that and they come through, I'm nice. You know what? Fuck it. 100 on Southampton. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him for 100 too.
Oh, you don't want to take the risk of missing out on a big payday. That would be a game
Yeah,
changer for this whole tournament now. We'd start no, I'm not touching this. Fuck. And you know what? It's this our season's over, Man United. Fuck it. Stick 100 on United. Our season's over anyway. Come on, let's beat Bournemouth. Fuck
I have 450 left. I really should have bet a
it.
little bit more.
I'm not touching the Chelsea game because they're my great white hope now for, or just great blue hope, I should say, not white. I'm thinking Tottenham. Great blue hope for the title. Arsenal, I'm catching you lot. City, nowhere catching you lot. I need Chelsea to win the league this year. I can't believe I'm saying.
Okay, so you have to bet $250 on Leicester versus Wolves, or you can put more money on
I'm gonna
Newcastle.
put more money. I'm gonna put 200 on Southampton for me. I'm going big. I'm going big. I need to.
Okay. I'm
Uh,
I'm I'm following you on this
fuck
just to annoy you.
you.
I'm doing that just to annoy you. Um, Leicester
uh,
Wolves. What do you have?
and that's Leicester Wolves is a local thing. They're right next to each other in the Midlands. Leicester Wolves is a local derby match. It's gonna be a tasty game. I will put and Ruud van Nistelrooy at Leicester, dude. How much money have I got left? 200.
Yeah, at
Slap
150.
slap the 150 on Leicester, man. Let's go. Come on, Ruud.
Mm.
Tie is probably good odds. I'm not gonna lie. The tie is actually very good
Yeah, I'm
odds.
putting a lot of ties this week, but
Interesting. Yeah, of course, you can't bet against. And that's not the Carabao Cup fixture as well. You're going to play them 3 times now in the space of a month.
I just sorry, my girlfriend just came in with McDonald's, but
Nice.
um my we own Tottenham. Like we own that club. Um, I really don't feel the least bit worried about that. The only thing that stops us is when the refs intervene, like
Oh,
Simon Hopper last year.
yeah, Luis Diaz. That was a fucking disgrace. That was an
Yeah,
absolute disgrace.
and it also changes the whole complexion of the game when that happens.
I
So
mean, outright, it's just completely wrong. Like, did you? I don't know if you saw the story of the Scottish League Cup final. It was Celtic Rangers. Rangers should have had a penalty. Celtic 1-0 up, win the game 1-0.
I saw that. Yeah,
Injury times, Rangers should have had a penalty. Now they've lost the cup. Cup's gone. The refs have come out since and said, yeah, it was a mistake. I mean, what the fuck now, innit? Are they gonna? They can't replay the game because that'll set a crazy precedent moving forward. Which
yeah.
all these extra games. But what's the right thing to do now? How Rangers? If I'm a Rangers fan, I'm pissed off.
If they wouldn't have redone the Liverpool Tottenham game, where it actually seemed for like a few days that that was actually on the table,
Yeah.
they're not redoing anything else. Because literally in that
Oh,
game,
it's too many. Then you're going to replay every game can be contested. Then you're just going to stop.
exactly.
There'll be a time, I'm sure, God forbid, when United lose a final or lose something big on a dodgy decision, and I'm gonna have to say the same. Look, we can't replay it. It's done. It's done. But what the fuck, like,
The thing that really pissed us off about that was the fact that like it came out that VAR literally said
right?
that they literally messaged Simon Hopper, and it's like at that point, like I know we can't replay it, but like, can we send Simon Hopper to prison for at
Yeah.
least for at least 20 years?
Oh,
At
you guys,
least 20 years.
David Coote's been sacked now after his video about Klopp and Liverpool. Those buddies, those friends of his that recorded him, the idiot, he's fucked
Yeah.
now. So the PGMOL kicked him out. He's done. And I actually genuinely thought he was a good ref. I'm not even taking the piss. I genuinely thought he was a decent ref.
How
Poor
much time do you have left? Because I know you have
No,
to
no,
you
we,
have
we
to run.
keep going. They're going to start the Christmas party ahead without me. I'll join them afterwards. We need to talk about Rashford and a bunch of other
Yeah.
stuff. There's lots to.
Go ahead on Rashford.
I'm over the moon, honestly. People are going to think this is controversial. I think, without sounding like a dick, or at the risk of sounding like a dick, but fuck it. When your own mother writes an news article for the Times a year ago saying, I don't like the crowd he's rolling with, he's got a whole new crowd of people around him. He signed his fat 300K a week deal 18 months ago. He hasn't played with a smile. He hasn't looked interested since he signed that contract. He's had one solid season, 30 goals a year. And then under Ollie, I think Ollie's first full season, 2020, he had a good year. So did Martial, but look at the state of him now. I think with Rashford, I think these players now, they're too soft. The burden of wearing the shirt, like compare him. I know it's very early days. I'm not knocking it, but look at the way Ahmad plays, the smile on his face. He chases everything fucking down. And he's not had an easy time. He had every right to leave Man United because we weren't giving him a chance. He was like, fuck these lot. They signed me. He was signed under Solskjaer 4 years ago. Now he's getting his opportunity to come
Yeah.
through. He's taking it with both hands. Rashford, he's been here almost a decade. Sometimes players, when they've, been at the club for so long, sometimes a change is good. You forget, you lose that joy on your face. But I just feel like the old Rashford, like the original Rashford when he burst onto the scene, if he had been dropped out of the Derby squad to face Man City, he wouldn't have come out a day later with fucking that journo cunt Henry Winter and done this stupid interview of, oh yeah, I think I'm ready for a new challenge. The timing was so stupid. He should have knuckled down, trained harder, been in the Tottenham squad, and he would have scored 2 goals. That's what the old Rashford would have done. But this new one, he's pampered. I think he's a bit of a brat. There's stories coming out about how, the way he deals with other media members, with the United staff as well. He's just a brat. He's in 27. He's got the world at his feet. He's got the wrong crowd around him. He's going to look back at this in 10 years, 15 years' time and say, fuck, I made a horrible mistake. I wanted him out in the summer. I'm glad he's gone. I think he's one of the leaks in the dressing room as well. Him and his brother agent that talk shit all the time. They were trying to meet with PSG 2 years ago when his contract was up. Try and meet PSG now. No one is going to touch him. That's our problem. Our problem isn't that he wants to leave and that we want to get rid of him. Our problem is, even at 27 on 300K a week, no one's going to want to touch him. All the top teams are set. Left wing is the most set position in all the top 5, 6 teams in the world.
It's also the most disposable, I think.
Yeah,
Like they are the star. They are the stars, but they're also incredibly disposable.
I mean,
Like,
just from the top of your head now, look, what you guys have Luis Diaz. Not that he'd ever go to Liverpool, that'd be hilarious. Diaz in killer form. Real Madrid have Vinicius, Mbappe, who can play there as well, likes playing on the left, but he's playing down the middle. Barcelona, Rafinha's been on fire. One of the best players in the season.
and by the way, they also have Gavi as well. Gavi switches between that and like attacking mid, but
There you go. Is he going to go to an Atletico Madrid where he has to work his socks off under Simeone? Is he going to enjoy that? No.
I feel like Grealish has really solidified his position in Man City.
I can't tell if you're joking there or if you're being serious.
I'm both actually.
Hard time since the treble winning party. I think he's been hung over for a year and a half.
That's true.
But they have.
But yeah, no, I feel like this is a weird thing where like I feel like as a society we were kind of unfair to David Beckham because David Beckham I think was really the harbinger of this, like of the new type of athlete. And yes, people can make their complaints and like I think that they're valid, but like he was the first one to get the media scrutiny and also like all the bad aspects of it, like the bad hangers on, the other attentions that every single football player is dealing with right now. And I think that in retrospect, we're going to see that he actually dealt with it phenomenally well.
He killed. No, he honestly. Funny enough, you said that. I was watching the Beckham Netflix thing last night and the day before. When I got back, I couldn't sleep because of the weird hours and the time difference. I was just watching
How
that.
many times have you watched it so far?
Not that often because it still breaks my heart. Like I'm not gonna lie, when he left, I would have been 11 years old. I was devastated. I hated him for 5, 6. I hated him for about nearly a decade afterwards. Because I was like, how
Yeah,
could you do this? You were everything to us. You were England captain. You were Man United's number 7. Like he was everything. We used to brag about him to all the other teams as a kid. Like, oh, we've got David Beckham. Nothing
yeah,
else. That's end of conversation. Done. We've got Golden Balls. Golden Balls is on our team. But
yeah.
when it comes out now and you see that, he was forced out, Fergie had to maintain control, he never wanted to leave. You see the emotion, even now to this day, the way he holds it. Like he's one of one. He's a brilliant ambassador for the club. And you got to look at it as well. Someone like Roy Keane, who doesn't tolerate no nonsense on any level, and you look at the image of Beckham that was portrayed, but Roy Keane loved Beckham. He goes, listen, he could be a flash cunt, whatever. He showed up to training, he showed up to game, and he backed it up every day. So if Roy Keane's signifying for you and giving you stamp of approval, you must be doing something right, even with all the other distractions going on.
I also think that people kind of talk about Beckham like he was kind of like Dennis Rodman a little bit, where it's like that's not who he was. He literally
Oh,
just sat at
yeah,
home
yeah,
with
yeah.
Victoria Beckham all the time. And like when they went out, like I think that people don't realize this with celebrities a lot, is that when they go out and like you see them in pictures, like that's work. They're not like partying, they're not getting crazy. Like at the club at 3 o'clock in the morning, that's going crazy. But like showing up to like a Vanity Fair party at 10 p.m. is not going crazy. So
Oh, the
if he's
gig.
at bed at 1 a.m., that's reasonable. That's a reasonable time for an athlete to go to bed, in my opinion.
I remember when he left. I remember when Keane left. When Vidic and Ferdinand left. Ruud van Nistelrooy. So many players, and it just broke your heart. And honestly, a couple of years ago, not that you ever thought Rashford would leave, but even the thought of it, you thought, oh my god, it's gonna be another one on the list. I couldn't give two fucks if Rashford leaves. Goodbye, go. I think you're pampered. I think the club failed him where we used to have characters or management in place that was so the likes of Jesse Lingard, Paul Pogba, they influenced the young Rashford when he was coming up. They were there at the club when he was up there, coming through in 2016, 2017. And when he had the likes of Zlatan there for that season, he kept the likes of Pogba in check. Listen, you flash cunt, what are you wearing? This is Man United, dress properly. Pogba then wins the World Cup in 2018 in the summer. Zlatan's gone. And, he's coming dressed in this like, I dress how you want, I get it. But, you got to back it up on the pitch.
Yeah,
The likes of Lingard and Rashford. Oh my God, what are you wearing, bro? Your drip is so cool. You're not fucking male fashion models, you dickheads. You're footballers first, and then wear your
yeah.
flash stuff afterwards.
And I think that like, you know, I think we were gonna see a time in football where the big like we went through this whole phase because football used to be just about like the team, right? And then, in the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, it became about stars and names. And I think that we're gonna get to a point soon where it's gonna be back to about the team because you're gonna have teams with really solid cultures like your Liverpools, like I mean, Arsenal kind of has a really solid culture. I mean, it's a
Arsenal, culture, Arsenal culture club, even Man City, they have there's set ways of doing things, and there's the manager's way or the highway. And Ferguson
yeah,
had United, and we haven't had the identity since. And now with Ruben Amorim coming, Ten Hag tried it, Mourinho tried it. We didn't back Mourinho, we backed Pogba over Mourinho. So that tells you how fucked the club was back then under Woodward. That you
and
back
by the
it.
way, do you know who's losing it now? I know I've been banging this drum, but this is why I've been banging the drum. Real Madrid, in my opinion, is losing that right now. Like they don't have Toni Kroos anymore. Modric is outnumbered. We have Vinny the crybaby, Mbappe the bitch. We have Bellingham, who's a little bit of a cunt right now. And it's like, this locker room I think is gonna go to shit. And we're gonna go from the cardiac kid Real Madrid 2 years ago, where they had the most incredible season, or 3 years ago now, where they had the most incredible Champions League run of all time, in my opinion. I can't imagine the only run in professional sports that I think is more incredible, which sucked because it was also against my team, was the Red Sox in 2003 when they came down from 3-0 to beat the Yankees. Besides that, I can't think of other runs that are crazier. Because even with Tom Brady, where he was down like 49-3 going into halftime, like he was still Tom Brady. Like, it's still. But anyway, but my point is that like I think Real Madrid is going to lose their culture. By the way, I actually have some big news for you. Because in the Holland versus Mbappe battle, I was Team Holland. I'm now no longer Team Holland. I'm looking for a new superstar to back.
Oh, well, there's a young boy named Ahmad. You're interested, up and
Well,
coming.
so the reason why is that the Norway squad
Yeah,
pulled out.
they said something about they're not going to play Israel, right?
Yeah, they're not gonna play Israel. So
I don't know
I'm
if politics gets into football. Like, I get you're into
I,
Japan, you feel a certain way, but then does that mean they're going to start banning Israel from all FIFA competitions now?
well, they're trying to do that. They're trying to ban Israel,
So Israel
and
not allowed in competitions for differing reasons, I guess, or similar reasons, but different laws.
they want to do it. They're not gonna be able to accomplish that. Um,
Um,
like you're gonna lose your NATO protection very quickly if you kick Israel out of UEFA. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't really like when politics comes into sports. The nice thing about American sports is that we don't really have that much politics into it, at least not like with wars and stuff. Like you have Colin Kaepernick, but with Colin Kaepernick, the reason why it was such a thing was simply because it was kind of an unspoken rule in America. You don't really do politics in sports. The one exception is the NBA, but with the NBA, it's kind of understood. It's like, look, there's a primarily black league. You know, these guys need to be part activists. So like, it's more of a marketing thing. But yeah. Speaking of superstars leaving, it looks like we're gonna sign Mohamed Salah. It looks
yeah,
like
I'm not
we're
surprised.
apparently like about to re-sign him.
Some people, the story's been coming out that he's done like the promotional video. It's going to be announced just around Christmas time to give you guys something to cheer. I mean, I'm not surprised. I think the whole sticking point is probably just the length of contract. I think Liverpool have just caved. I think his performances have allowed him to say, look, where first of all, where else is he going to go? He's not going to go to Saudi. He's not going to go to PSG. He's not going to go to Real Madrid or Barca, Bayern
I
Munich.
don't understand why not Saudi though.
Not yet. You know what I mean? He's still got so much to do. Like, it'd be criminal if he went there. You know what I mean? Even as a rival fan, I'd be like, yo, like, look what he's doing. Why the fuck would you, with all due respect to Saudi, why the fuck would you go to Saudi now? It'd
He's
be
from Egypt.
no, as in like just the talent he has, it'd be wasted there. If he can still do this, I would love to see him go. Don't get me wrong. I'd be over the moon if he left. I'm sick and tired of seeing. Can't wait till he goes. Mane's gone, Firmino's gone, Klopp's gone. I'm so happy. I can't wait for him and Berger and Trent to go. But it's still from a neutral perspective to see the kind of shit he does. It is magical.
Yeah.
Criminal for him not to be doing it in the league while he still can. So I think he was always going to stay. Liverpool weren't going to bottle that decision. But just going back to end on Rashford, my biggest fear was that he was going to influence the likes of Kobe Mainu, these young boys coming up, your Dangors, Toby
Well, that's
Connor.
why you should get rid of him.
So I'm over the moon. I can't wait to see the back of him. I don't think he should play another game for us again, honestly. I respect what he does with the children's lunches and things like that. But again,
Yeah, but come on.
listen, on the flip side, all these players, they're set up as limited companies and then they get loans from those companies. So they pay fuck all in tax. Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't do that. Minimize as much tax as you can. Don't get me wrong. But don't be putting him up as some sort of savior that doesn't care about money and stuff because everyone cares about money at the end of the day. Like,
Well,
it's what it is.
every single athlete has a charity, so you're not really swaying me that much. Every celebrity has a charity.
So for
Like
me,
so,
Rashford seems like a decent bloke, but I think he's lost his way. I think it's best for the club and for him. Move on. Ideally, I would like to see him go abroad. I don't want to see him playing for Arsenal and tearing it up against us. Ideally for him, what I would like to see, and for me, for everyone, win-win. Go abroad, go to PSG, go wherever the fuck you want. Go abroad, go to Saudi for all I care. But go somewhere, play good football. I'd love to see him in an England shirt at the World Cup. I'd love to see him do well. I wish him well. I don't want to see him
yeah,
in the Premier League. I do not want to see him in the Premier League.
yeah. I mean, he's gonna be one of those guys who's going to be just good enough that you feel pissed that he's not on your team, but not good enough that it's like a
Yeah,
redemption arc.
honestly, if Newcastle came in with like a nice £60 million offer, shit, go to Newcastle. I don't give a fuck. I just don't want to see him at like a rival, like an Arsenal or a Chelsea. Liverpool would be hilarious. Imagine they let Salah go, they let sell Diaz, and they bought Rashford. I would laugh my head off, honestly.
Are we selling Diaz?
You're not.
I
No,
would
you're
kill
not. You're not. You're
somebody.
not. Oh no, you're not. You're not. But it'd just be funny to me. It'd be such a bottle job of just a decision. Oh, let's let Luis Diaz go because he was close to going a year ago, and in the form
Yeah,
he's
but
been.
a year ago he was kind of shit a year ago.
I think he was still recovering from that bad injury. When he first came to you like, in 2022 January, he burst onto the scene. He was mad,
Oh,
and
I
then
remember.
I can't remember.
I'm actually kind of pissed because you texted us. No, no, no. Sorry, it was my Italian league friend, and he texted our group chat that his son loves to sing the Luis Diaz song, and then he started singing it, and it's a different Luis Diaz song, and I'm like, damn, I prefer the other one. Arsenal, like Martinelli, Klopp loved Martinelli a
I
lot.
think
Like,
brilliant. I don't. I feel bad for him. I don't. I think the injuries have hampered him and his decision making. He's a bit rash now. Before he was more composed. Like his decision making lets him down at the moment. He shoots when he should pass, and he passes when he should shoot. But in the big games, he always scores against Liverpool. He always scores against City. He always does the business. I've always rated Martinelli.
yeah. Well, one thing that I mean, I hate to be one of those guys banging this drum, but I think it's accurate right now is that like I I do miss the the one thing I have to say nice about Neymar, and I have very few nice things to say about Neymar. Just kidding, I actually like Neymar. But the one thing I have nice to say about Neymar he was one of those guys who could really beat a right back off the dribble. And
Yeah.
you do not have a lot of people like that anymore in professional football. Martinelli is kind of the closest that we have. There was this player for Newcastle, Saint something. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Hey, Maxima, I remember him.
Same, yeah. He could beat somebody off the dribble
He
easily.
was filthy. I couldn't believe it when he went. I think he went Saudi for a year. Now he's like at Marseille or he's somewhere else. He's at Jose's team, I think, or something like
Yeah.
that. But I
Well,
couldn't.
I think it's because like right now, and this is the big difference between like Brazilian football and English football, right? Is that like Brazilian kids learn football playing on the beach with their friends, while
100%.
English kids learn it in like a school, right? And so you don't you let like coaches teach you to not do that type of stuff, which generally is correct, but like. Man, I miss I literally just will watch Ronaldinho highlights sometimes. I'm just like, damn, that guy could fucking move around. It was poetry.
I think with Saint Maximin, because he was relatively young. I think he's still about 27, 28 even now, but he was relatively young. He would do the flicks and tricks, but it wouldn't always like it would come off the trick, but in the terms of the whole build-up play, in terms of the whole team, it wouldn't add much. Like it was prettier on the eye. So it looks great, but when it think about Ronaldinho and even like CR7 when he started doing it right at United after a couple of seasons, when you can do the flicks and tricks and it builds into the play, like it adds to the progression of the ball and you're going to score from it or at least get further up the pitch, it's
Yeah.
unbelievable. That's the magic. Whereas if you look at Anthony, if you're going to stand in a spot and just go around in a circle like a dickhead, like what the fuck?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think that St. Maximum, I see this a lot of times in sports where like a player shines because they're on a bad squad. And like relatively speaking, I mean, this happened with Grealish, right? Grealish was the king of Aston Villa, and then he came to Man City, and like he couldn't do anything right. But
That's also
yeah, no,
I think the manager. You see Grealish now. There were a couple of times when he came on against United, even when they were winning, and normally he would take the right back on, and you could almost see the Guardiola training in him. He was hesitant, and it was like his instinct versus his training. He looked lost.
exactly, yeah.
Just sad to see that. Like Guardiola, great coach. I'm not knocking it, but when that player, when you have a certain type of player with that spark, and you almost beat it out of him in training, like no, you're not fucking doing that shit. You stick to the team movement. You lose 10-15% of that player's potential, in my opinion.
Yeah. I feel like Vinny feels an obligation to do it. Like he does the samba sometimes, but like with him, it feels a little bit forced.
I
Like he
agree.
doesn't feel like he's as good at it as like a Ronaldinho, but he just feels that like
That's
history
natural
in
because
him.
he's just a natural power pace guy. Like for me, if it was up to him, he would just run up and down the whole time. But I agree with what you're saying. Like feels like he does a little thing to play up to the crowd and get that samba style sort of recognition.
It's funny that Mbappe didn't learn it from Neymar because like he learned all the bad habits, but he didn't learn any of the.
That's the scary thing, though, isn't it? That's why we're like Lingard and Pogba taught Rashford all the crap, especially Lingard. He was horrendous. They would all party together, full wanker. I have no sympathy for that dickhead. Honestly, these players, honestly, they come into the league, they come into the team at a young age, they kill it there, and they think they've made it just by being in the Man United first team. No, making it is winning Man United the big trophies. That's the way your mentality should be, and that's how far we've fallen. So when
Yeah.
Kobe Mainoo was coming through, Garnacho's, I am concerned about Garnacho. I think his attitude. I think he's willing to work because even yesterday it was a small thing. I noticed normally he would shoot from a stupid angle. As soon as he got the ball, he squared it into a better position. And I was like, Amarin, that's something Amarin would tell him to do. Ten Hag would also try and push it into him. So he's willing to learn. He's moldable still. Another year or two of
Is
it, fucked.
is Garnacho Argentinian?
Yes. We got him from the
Okay.
Atletico Madrid Academy. He joined us and then spent several years with us before being promoted. We got him at 16, I think, from Atletico Madrid's.
By the way, can I show you a picture of the place that me and my girlfriend might be moving to?
Okay, yeah. What are you guys moving to?
It's a place called Puerto Montt in Chile. So the kind of story of this, so our lease is up on January 27th, and my visa um in Paraguay is up on like February 4th. And so we were gonna go to this town that's actually like a lot prettier called Bariloche in Argentina. Sorry, I literally people listening, I'm not doing this to be pretentious. I literally speak Spanish all day long. So that's why. And now I'm doing a business where I'm selling to Spanish companies. So I'm literally speaking Spanish all the time. That's why I'm doing Argentina. But so this is Bariloche. It is
How do you say
gorgeous.
how do you say Barcelona? You do it with the list. Barcelona.
So
Saying
me and my girlfriend have this joke between us where whenever we talk about things about Spain, we speak with the Spanish lisp. And so we have this joke about eating ceviche in Sevilla. So but yeah, so this is Bariloche. But the problem with Bariloche is that Bariloche is kind of like, the Aurora of South America. It's kind of like the Miami. It's such a famous place. It's not like Miami, but it's such a famous spot that I looked up the prices. It is more expensive than like Los Angeles. And I'm like,
you
I'm not living in South America to be more expensive than Los Angeles. That's ridiculous.
kind of saying it wrong.
So I have a client who is from Chile, and he told me he was like, so this is Puerto Montt, and Bariloche is right over here. And he was just like, Puerto Mont's on the Chile side. It's really cheap. And it's literally like if you look over here, it's literally all the lakes, all the mountains, all the everything. And so what we might be doing, our plans change every day, but we might be moving to here, getting a place, you can get like a 3, 4 bedroom house for like $1,000 a month and get like a boat and then start every day on the fucking water, going in the mountains. I'm pumped. That's kind of our plan as of this moment.
That'd be
But
super dope, man. 100%. That'd be
but
amazing.
yeah, back to Man City. Oh, sorry, Man United.
uh, so yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
glad
mean, you
Rashford
just
got
need that culture. You need that culture. You need to beat those people out. You need to take. The nice thing about Liverpool is we don't really have any bad influences. Our worst influence on our team, I would say, is Trent Alexander-Arnold, but he's not even a bad influence. He is just he's a little bit too much of a celebrity. He's a right back who thinks he's a right winger. That's basically what Trent Alexander-Arnold is. He shows up to F1 races and stuff. I mean, look, I follow F1. I love F1, but like, if you're a football player, you should not be showing up to F1 races. That's my opinion.
Oh, really interesting. Okay.
So one of the
I'm
reasons,
sure Van Dijk goes to him as well, you know.
yeah, I
I've
don't
seen
like that.
I've seen Van Dijk at him. Like I've seen the interview where the Sky Sports news presenter
Well,
fucking.
so TAA is a part owner of a team.
Oh, really? I
Yeah, he's
didn't
a
know.
part owner of one of the worst teams. Although they actually had a great race this year, they got them a lot of points. But like one reason. Look, by the way, I have a picture of Max Verstappen in my room in my office. Um, one reason why I love Max Verstappen, and I want all of my Liverpool athletes to be like this, is that do you know what Max Verstappen does for fun?
Fuck all right, just chills out.
He literally plays
Video game.
the
Video game.
yeah, but he
Okay.
plays the Formula One video game.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
literally spends his spare time playing a Formula One video game, basically doing film study all day long. He finishes a 12-hour shift at work, goes home, and does more work. That's what I want. I want every single fucking player on Liverpool to go home and play FIFA. That's what you should be doing.
I mean, I'm sure they do. A lot of them, I'm sure they play, but obviously they have. I don't know how I feel about that. I want my players or my people to have some personality as well. Like
I
our
don't want
99,
any personality.
dude,
I want robots.
our 99 team, like the number of characters now. You got Roy Keane, the captain, and the legendary goalkeeper Schmeichel beating the shit out of each other in a hotel lobby in Singapore in 1999. You've got fucking Dennis Owen, all the lads out drinking till 2, 3 in the morning. Gary Neville was the robot. Gary Neville used to go to bed at 10 p.m. every night.
Oh no, I'm not saying they have to go to bed. I'm saying they have to play FIFA until 1 o'clock in the morning.
There you go.
Um,
I think I like the balance of having. If you need a few characters in the dressing room, I think.
I say that, but my favorite footballer of all time is Maradona, who is the biggest fucking character, right? But
He was playing FIFA until
yeah, no, he was doing cocaine.
and playing FIFA.
I think I told you the story, but like when I visited the Pablo Escobar Museum in Colombia, they had a picture of Maradona there because Pablo Escobar like kidnapped him. And I told the tour guide, I was like, I don't really think it was that forcible of a kidnapping. I think he chose to get on that airplane.
I think he was the poster boy for the Medellin cartel. He was like, "Oh, I'll be. You need to taste test this shit. I can be your guy." Quality control.
The funniest part about it, so Napoli at the time, as anybody who's even slightly familiar with Italy or Italian, was owned by the mob at the time, and they were the one who was giving him the cocaine. And then so after he beat Italy in the 1990 World Cup, all these stories, literally the next day, flooded about him doing cocaine. And he, quite rightly, in my opinion, went to the club and was just like, why are you printing these stories about me? You were the guys giving me the cocaine. It was your cocaine. I was doing it with your son.
Rivalries go in it like, oh yeah, we'll give it to you. Beat everyone else in the club competition, but if you beat our national team, you're cut off.
Exactly. So the funny thing about him, people who who don't know that much about Italy, Italy is really three countries in one. Like Southern Italy and Northern Italy are two very different places.
You hear the South hate the North. Like they always feel like they're looked down upon by the North.
They hate them so much. I mean, they were literally, the South was separate politically from the North until 1888. So at the time, like at the time, they were only a country for 100 years, right? And so the South hated the North. If you look at Serie A, there's only one team in the South. Every other team's in the North because the North is so much richer than the South. And so what Maradona thought, wrongly, but this is what he thought, he was just like, look, the South hates the North. Like all the players are from the North on the Italy squad. I'm the king of Napoli. They're going to defend me. Plus, Argentina and Italy are very close countries. They really are. And he was wrong about that. But there's one thing I want to talk about with you. I just remember this. This is the topic I wanted to discuss. I'm not sure. I think I texted this to somebody else. So this is the La Liga tables.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Atletico back up there, eh?
Do you see anything weird here? Does anything pop out at you?
Valencia being bottom, but they've had
yeah.
So Sevilla, I'm happy to see Sevilla doing a bit better.
So let's look at this. Barcelona's front three.
Only 1 point behind. Oh shit! Are they playing Atletico on Monday?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, big game then, because Atletico win that, then they've got a game in hand and they're two.
No, they're playing tomorrow.
Wait, what's the date today? Oh, today's the 20th. Shit. Okay, yeah. Big game. Then.
All right, so let's look at the Barcelona lineup. I always like to choose the big games because that's usually where they put their A squad, right? So, Barcelona's front three is Lewandowski, who I love, Polish, third cousin. Obviously, I'm not shitting on him, but he's 842 years old. They basically have Gandalf out there, and yeah. So Barcelona's front three, you have an 800-year-old Lewandowski, Rafinha, who look, we've been this pod has been the pro Rafinha pod all year. However, we can't pretend that Rafinha is like some prodigy. Rafinha is a guy who is kind of looked down upon historically as having a resurgence at Barcelona, right? And then like he's more of a Gabriel Jesus than he is like an Mbappe, right?
Yeah,
Um, and then Yamal is 12, right? And then Almo is good, but Almo comes from what's it called? Leipzig.
he's at Leipzig before, dude. We have been linked with him for so long. I was so annoyed we didn't get him. He would have been brilliant. I was like,
All right, so we have this front four that is really pedestrian on paper, right? Like we agree. Like if at the beginning of the season we were to rank the top fours, which we should have done by the way, we should do this next year, or maybe do this at the half year part. We'll
sure,
take all the front fours, we'll rank them, and based upon how many goals we think they're going to score for the rest of the year.
over under basically, yeah.
Yeah, so this is their front four, and then we have Real Madrid that has Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, Bellingham. This
Diaz is
spots,
playing because what's his name? Rodrigo's out. It'd be Rodrigo every
yeah,
day.
it'll be
So that's
Rodrigo, and
crazy. That's insane.
right. So we have a pretty average front four and an insane historic front four, right? Now let's look at this. Barcelona goes for 50. Real Madrid 37.
Mm.
Barcelona is scoring 2/3 the goals of Real Madrid is scoring 2/3 the goals of Barcelona with this incredible squad.
Well,
Can I
Kevin,
please take a
Kevin,
bow as the resident Mbappe hater now? Can I
that's,
please?
that's the thing. Like he's had a very poor start to his career. Rodrigo's been out. I think I don't know how long Rodrigo's out for. I don't know if it was a season-ending injury, but I think he's back sooner rather than later. Oh no, he came on, didn't he?
Yeah, came on.
Oh, and that's I don't know. Ancelotti's
He
playing.
was just sitting for that, I think.
Yeah.
And then by the way, so Asensio came on. They also have Endrick. Like Real. Look. Like if Salah goes down,
That's a different Asensio though. That's not the Asensio from back in the day. That's a different one. That one's
oh
at
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
that one's at PSG, but might be
Um.
brother or something. Who knows? But
Look.
for me, Brahim Diaz was never a top tier player, even when he went to Milan and did well. Like I know he's ex Man City, he's at Real Madrid, AC Milan. He's got a hell of a catalogue of clubs. Brahim Diaz is not top tier talent for me. Neither is Dani Ceballos. Lucas
All I'm
Vazquez.
saying is this: is that like if 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 City lost Holland or De Bruyne like they did last year, and they're
Yeah,
like, "Oh, we're losing because we don't have De Bruyne," it's like, okay, I get it. If Poole has Salah go down for 2 weeks and we lose games, I get it. But they have such an insane talent up front that even if Mbappe goes down, it's like, okay, well, you won the Champions League with Vinicius Bellingham. Like, you should be able to figure this out. And they are scoring
different formation.
66%
He's playing a
of
different position now than he was last year as well. I think I personally.
Bellingham.
Bellingham was more further up the pitch last year. They've played
Yeah,
deeper this year. Like he played more of a 4-2-2-2 last
yeah.
year, especially in the final and stuff. Bellingham was sort of like the off pivot off of Rodrigo with Vinny on the side, and then but even if you look at Valverde, right? Valverde now playing in the middle there. I've only seen maybe off the top of my head, maybe I can count on two hands in his whole career where he's played in that position. He's actually played Brahim Diaz's position a lot
Yeah.
last 3 years, and he's
I was
done
actually I was actually expecting to see Valverde there.
yeah. Same
Um,
here. Same here.
no, it's
He's
because Chouamani is playing center back.
exactly. So if you look where they're plugging the gaps. Militao's out for the season, so Tchouaméni goes there instead of being where Valverde is now. Valverde is where Tchouaméni should be instead of being where Diaz is now because Rodrigo's out. So there's these little like sort of round whole square peg, but not really fully. I just feel like the full potential of this Madrid team just hasn't been able to have been realized. And look, second half of the season, it could all completely change. Like they could get all their players back and they could go on a crazy run. We've seen it before. They could end up winning the Champions League and La Liga again and we'll be looking like we'll have egg on our faces if we look back on this video, like, oh, we were doubting them. They just had to click.
Look,
One.
I'm just saying I fucking hate Mbappe. Is all I'm saying. I mean, they're only a point down with the game in hand. They could very easily be leading
That's
Spanish
what's
La
crazy.
Liga. Yeah,
They made it look like they were fucking stinking up La Liga, and Atletico were like fifth at one point, like 3 weeks ago. And I checked, Barca were running away with it. I don't know what's happened recently. Obviously, they must have dropped some points, but the
yeah.
fact that it's only 1 point and they both have games in hand is crazy to me. So think about this Barca team, similar to like
They lost to who's LGN?
Leganes. They lost to Leganes. That's crazy. They're 15th.
Didn't Leganes just get promoted?
They've been up and down. They've been up and down. Like they've been. I remember seeing them the season before as well.
No, I think they just got promoted.
If you go to like maybe 2022 or something, they've been in the
Yeah.
league. Well, I've seen them before.
Oh, I just read they were in the league last year, but yeah. No, I
Yeah,
mean they're
they're one of those
they're like Leicester kind of.
yeah, they're one of those yo-yo clubs that goes up and down because I've definitely seen them before.
That must suck to be one of those clubs. Although I will
Yeah, they
say,
are. A team, yeah, there they are. So they were like the last 4 or 5 years they've been up and down.
one nice thing about being a yo-yo club is that you get to win a lot of trophies.
Well, yeah, you get the league title from the season, the league below, and then you go up. I mean, look at Leicester now; they were league. Enzo Maresca, if he wins the title with Chelsea, I can't remember the last time a manager won the Championship and the Premier League back to back.
Here's my question, like, you know,
Two different clubs, mind you, with two different clubs.
let me ask you a question. What would you prefer? Not today, in terms of overall legacy for a club, right? For a 5-year stretch, would you prefer to be an Arsenal that gets second place all the time, no trophy, doesn't win cups, or a Leicester that's historically really good? Leicester used to be one of the top clubs. Has made a Champions League, had a crazy Premier League year, right?
They won the FA Cup in 2021. They beat Chelsea in that final.
Exactly. So, would you want to be would you want to be Arsenal over the last 5 years, or would you like to be Leicester over the last 5 years, where you are a yo-yo club, but you do have some trophies?
I would rather be Leicester. I'm not just
exactly because here's the thing.
It's more of a journey. It's more fun as well. It's more of a journey as well. You've had a league title. They've won a league title before Arsenal now. Arsenal haven't won it in 21 years. They won it in 2016. They've then won the FA Cup in 2021. They've won the Championship last year and come up as champions. That's 3 fucking trophies right there.
Well, here's how I see it also. Like 10 years down the line, we don't know where any club is going to be, right? We have no idea, right?
Number one.
But who knows? Leicester could be bought by an American hedge fund and they could become number one, right? But the thing is, from this 5-year spell, you have trophies in your trophy case. And people can say, oh, it's a championship trophy. You're like, well, yeah, we got demoted and then we came back.
Back up as champions. And that FA Cup win against Chelsea as well, there's something magical about that. When big teams like United, Liverpool, Chelsea, yeah, we like the FA Cup, it's okay. But for teams like Leicester, that's a massive thing. Like that's insane.
Yeah, I mean the thing about the FA Cup, and I actually think that it is big on the big clubs to kind of have this attitude. We're like how should I say this? So when I'm talking to you about the FA Cup, obviously I'm downgrading it. I'm just like, who the fuck cares? Obviously, both of our like if Man U was playing Liverpool in the FA Cup in the quarterfinals, and if you beat us or we beat you, I would say, look, we're both playing our second squads. Who the fuck cares, right? But like if I was talking to a Leicester fan, I wouldn't say that. I would just be like, yeah, you guys beat us. Congratulations. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that's kind of how most big club fans are about it. We're just like, we're gonna shit talk it to each other, but we're not gonna shit talk it to a Leicester. We're like, great job, you won. You know what I mean?
Look at that points table as well. That is mad. Like
what?
You guys are still like front runners for sure, but it's
we have a game in hand.
No, you have. Yes, I'm counting the game in hand. I'm counting points.
Oh yeah.
I'm saying like 2 points would be insane, even if it was like I'm looking at 5 points right now.
Because it's against Everton, so I mean, knock on wood, but
never know. It's the last derby match at Goodison Park. What a way to close out an iconic stadium, then whoop Liverpool and deny them the title.
That's true.
A lot of stories to
And
be
we love being denied titles by really stupid games. That's our specialty.
crazy that
Chelsea, I
we're
mean,
6 points. We're as shit as we are. We're only 6 points behind top four. Like that's insane to me.
and you could very easily get there.
I'm not saying anything yet. I'm just gonna shut the fuck up. I don't want to jinx it, but fucking, I actually thought we were gonna beat Forest, and we got fucking embarrassed.
Look, you have 22 games left.
Dude, if we had just beaten Forest, we'd be fucking 3 points behind fucking top four. We'd be what's City on? We'd be 2 points behind City. Oh, it's just such a fucking open goal. Just such a Onana's such a cunt. I hope we get rid of him as well,
And
honestly.
you'd be eighth right now.
Because I'm not looking at position too much just because of the number of teams. For me, it's just a points thing, and being 2 points
Yeah.
behind Man City is fucking insane. Like it would have been perfect. Idiot. Fucking Onana.
Are Man City missing it this year?
Bro, I don't think they're making top four. And I'm not just saying this to be a dick, because it's Nottingham Forest could drop off, but Villa are fucking solid. Brighton are fucking solid. Spurs will be in and around there. There's a lot of teams. I reckon Villa beat City on the weekend and just fucking dents them. I imagine that they don't make top four. They didn't get out of the group stage of the Champions League, that they don't make the top 16 or whatever, the top eight, and they finish like 25th or something. Or even if they make like, let's say they miss out on the top eight, right, Champions League, and then they get knocked out in those two-legged qualifyings for the last 16.
I'm sorry to say this, but I'm rooting for Bournemouth this weekend against
That's
you
fine. Yeah.
guys.
I'm not surprised. It's a right. I don't expect any Liverpool fans as shit as United are. I
No,
don't.
no, 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 no. I'm saying it for this. I'm saying it because if Bournemouth win and if Aston Villa win, and
They
a
leapfrog City. Yeah,
yeah, City becomes seventh.
that's insane. And even if Fulham, what's the goal difference?
Yeah, it's a big goal difference. That's 3 goals.
I mean, you know what I
Although,
mean?
although if one team wins, one team loses, that's
Yeah,
two
yeah.
goals.
They could be ninth. City could be ninth if results go a certain way, or even 10th. Even Brighton, City could be 10th.
Oh, so if Brighton passes them, they'll be ninth.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So
Yeah.
ninth or 10th for Man City, two
By the
points.
way, look at this. Tottenham Hotspurs plus 17.
Well, they won like 5-0. They win 3-5-0, but then they'll also lose 4-0 as well. Tottenham and Postecoglou's playing crazy football. I can't saying his job is under threat. I think he's brilliant. Spurs fans, above all else, and I can say this because my aunt's diehard Spurs for over 40 fucking years, they want to see good football. They don't expect to win the big trophies. If they can get close, great, but they want to be entertained. That's why Conte and Mourinho, even though they were serial winners, they could never really get taken to because they played such shit football. Postecoglou, Ange Ball is adored by Tottenham. So even though the results can be frustrating, like I know the Spurs fans love him to bits.
Can I say something that's be pretty controversial?
Yeah, go for it.
I think uh first of all, look at this. Oh, so they have 4-0 against Everton. I mean, that's not nothing. It's hard to beat, it's hard to win 4-0 against anybody. 3-0 against Man United.
Yep.
4-1 versus West Ham.
Dude, they beat City 4-0 at the Etihad. They beat Villa 4-1. They've had some big fucking results.
Yeah,
They lose 2-1. They lose 2-1 to Ipswich. They fucking the 4-3 against Chelsea was mad.
Yeah, so what we say that I think people might get mad at, so I'm gonna say something that people get mad at, and then I'm gonna say something complimentary that I think people might even get madder about.
Yep.
I don't think Son is that guy.
He's finished now. Like he's had a great run, but I think you're seeing towards. I mean, let him take direct corners. He scores if he plays against teams like us.
Wait, how old is he? Isn't he like 28?
Oh,
no, he's 32.
He's 30s.
Yeah. So I think Son is not that guy. I think he's one. I think you see this a lot in sports, especially in football. But like you have a guy who's second fiddle to somebody else who fits the system better, and you kind of think that he should be the number one, but then he gets put in that position, and you're like, nah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Son's problem is not even his speed or anything that would go with age. Like he was making terrible shots last weekend. I know because I was like, I need one of my bets to win, but terrible shots.
I think back in the day, obviously, he could make those goals, he could make those shots. Now he thinks he can still do it. He doesn't want to admit that thing. So the ego kind of is still in there. It's like, oh, I could do this a couple of years ago. I can still do it now. But
do you know who I do think is that guy though?
Kulusevski? Yeah, I knew.
Yeah,
He's brilliant. I couldn't believe when both him and Rodrigo Bentancur left Juventus and Tottenham got them both because they're young players.
I remember
I
that.
couldn't
Yeah,
believe they pulled it off. These are some brilliant signings. Like
I'm shocked
Kulusevski,
whenever I see that he's 24. He looks like he's 37. He kind of looks like Kevin De Bruyne a little bit, where he looks like he should be an accountant for one of the players, like not like
we have a friend from SF, Keith. Remember Keith? I think De Bruyne looks just like Keith, or Keith looks just like De Bruyne. Every time I see
yeah, yeah.
one of the best footballers in Premier League history.
No, but Kulusevski, like he just it's not even the goals. Is like he just kind of like whenever he gets the ball, something it moves the game forward in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like Son just is not doing that for me right now. I mean, he might just be age, but like I just
I think
don't think that Son is that guy.
he's had a few injuries. It is that age as well. He's lost that bit of pace because of not because of age. I think it's more injuries that have cost him. He's lost that pace. But that's where again people are saying like, oh, Son's kind of coming towards the end. Will Spurs take Rashford? Yeah, take him. I would have no issues. Have him. So,
When's
the
the
Spurs,
next Champions League?
I think it's January, mid-January or like January
January
25th.
5th, yeah. Because
No,
we need to remember no,
that's our game. It's Lille,
21st.
January 21st. Yeah, January 21st. And then the final one is on the 29th.
We've got a little bit of a schedule coming up. We have Tottenham. I mean, Leicester and West Ham maybe not, but Man U, they're not terrible. Aggregate Stanley is one of the I know this because I love to play FIFA mode
Yeah,
where I started League Two. Aggregate Stanley is a really good, at least last time I remember, a really good League Two squad. That's gonna be a tough game. But I'm happy that Champions League we have Lille and PSV.
yeah. I mean, Lille Fuzi's hometown. Lille, that'll be a good game. Lille are doing decent, I think. So is Brest. Brest is still killing it. I think they're seventh in the Champions League table, which is insane.
Let's look at this. I just
Look
can't
at that,
take
seventh and eighth. That's insane. Look, okay, with all due respect to the French league, their main fucking serial winners, the French league, are 25th, and Lille and Brest are seventh and eighth. You got to love football.
well, I do think that this is kind of the problem with the Champions League format right now is that if I remember correctly, I still don't 100% understand how it works, but I'm pretty sure the lesser squads get an easier schedule than the bigger squads.
What in Champions League?
Yeah.
No,
So
no,
if you
no.
look, they played Sporting, they
Ruben
played
Amorim.
these really shitty club, Real Madrid. Well, they beat Atletico.
Dude,
Oh, look,
they've been through the gauntlet. Like they've done well. They've just stepped up to the challenge. Bologna's
they
done
they they have. You're all right. They have gone to the fucking. That this is a
well.
gauntlet.
They've done well. They've done. I would love to have gone to a game in Lille with like Fuzi or someone like his own because I know it's his hometown, but he's always traveling. But bro, and they've lost Lenny Euro. They lost some big players this year as well. Some of these clubs, when they have their first year or two in the Champions League, Lille have been in Champions League historically every couple of years. Like 2005, we played them. Man United, we played them in 2007 in the last 16. They have some pedigree in Europe. Don't get me wrong, but Brest, I don't know where the fuck they came out of, and they've killed it.
I like how in Brazilian ESPN they spell Bologna like this.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
PSG 25th. I think even though United aren't in it, I'm hoping we'll be in it next year. It's a long shot, but I love
Wait,
this
so
format. I think it's brilliant.
24th is the cutoff, right?
24th is the cutoff. So as of PSG downwards, those teams are automatically knocked out. 9th to 24th play each other. And there is
Yeah.
a benefit. People ask, does it matter if Liverpool are top? So the fact that you lot are top, you lot will play the most bottom ranked team out of between 9 and 24th, whoever wins.
Oh,
So
really?
let's say Borussia Dortmund play Dynamo Zagreb. Let's say this is the final table, right? Actually, I don't even know how it works. I think they'll do like a random draw, I think, between 9 and
But wait, this is just our fucking luck. If they did that, do you know who we would play against? I bet you $1,000 it would be Real Madrid.
Real
Yeah,
Madrid.
100%. That is Liverpool fucking luck.
As of all the clubs, or like you get, I don't know if old rules of last season Champions League, the old school format was clubs from the same country can't play each other till the quarterfinal. So I don't know if
Yeah.
that's still the case. So because I was thinking, imagine you still play Man City.
I wouldn't mind playing Man City. I'd love that. I'd love to play Man
Man
City in
City now, yeah,
February.
now,
Like that would be great.
like imagine you get like
Bring them on.
AC Milan or like a you already played Milan this year, but like a Juve or a Bayern Munich. Like there's some interesting fixtures there. So there is a
Juve had a hard couple years, but they're coming back. There's this one kid my friend is really excited about. Let me pull up his name. I can't say his name for the life of me.
just give me 1 second.
Um, if you guys are looking for me to like entertain you, that's not gonna happen.
Sorry, I just had to there's a little spider I just had to deal with.
No
But
worries. I actually will. I actually have a thought that I want to go down in a second, but just to finish this off, they have a really good team, like Juve. They have
yeah,
Vlahovic. Like I know
I,
that people are like shitting on Vlahovic, but like he's still talented.
yeah,
Yildiz,
that's
Conceição,
yeah. Is that the constant for Porto that they got?
yeah.
Okay, he's supposed to be a really good player. I really like King.
Uh, he was playing for Portugal, right?
Yeah, he was a young boy that came on, scored a goal last minute at the Euros. I remember.
Oh, he's on loan.
He's on loan for Porto. That makes sense because I didn't think they. Because I don't remember there being he's going to go for a big price tag. So I don't remember there being a story like in the summer that Juve spent a fortune on
It.
him.
I mean, it could be a loan to buy.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be like a certain thing, but I don't think they had the money this year to pull it off. So Coop Miners is a brilliant player. Kenan Yildiz,
Yeah.
Turam, that's probably Lilian Turam's son as well. I've always liked Locatelli as well. I think he's a solid player.
Yeah. This is weird because typically, I mean, for the past 2 decades, they've had the center back on lock, but I don't really know who Gatti and Pierre
I,
Kalulu
I,
are.
Gatti's coming more recently. I watched this game and Gatti played really well. Like he was really holding the fort. I actually thought he was playing midfield because he was quite progressing the ball quite high up. But I actually told Vijay that surely City have to turn the corner somewhere. So I thought they were going to win this game. Vijay lost money on it.
Yeah.
And
Ah, fuck him.
your boy McKennie scoring the little volley at the end to make it 2-0. Nice little touch there.
They also have Fagioli.
Yeah, I guess it's Jolie, let's say. But all right.
Well, I mean, the nice about Juve, they have McKennie and Timothy Weah, the
Timothy Weah,
American boys.
yeah, they're doing
It
well.
is funny,
Douglas Luiz barely gets a game as well. He killed it at Villa. They have Douglas Luiz there as well. It's interesting that he doesn't play as much.
it's funny how like the international stuff works because Timothy Weah is literally the son of the president of Liberia, and yet he is an American footballer.
But
It's like,
he's not George Weah's son, is he?
yeah, he is.
No way. That's my dad's favorite player, one of his favorite
Yeah,
players. That little
George
celebration
Weah,
on the flag.
George Weah became the president of Liberia, and like literally
He
like
didn't play for Liberia's team though, did he? Unless I'm being really ignorant. I thought he played for
uh like France or something.
no. He played for an African team, but who did he play for? When he scored
This is
that
a
goal,
fucking name right here.
no, when he scored that famous goal and he went to the corner flag and ran underneath it, my dad always talks about because they were in Africa at the time.
Liberia.
Was that Liberia in the World Cup? That's crazy. I thought it was like Nigeria, or like one of them other big teams.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, but Tim Weah is good. I mean, he's not his father, obviously, but like he's pretty
Oh
good.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's a heavy name to live up to, but that's dope. Yeah.
So one thing this thought's been kind of nagging me about Barcelona, and I just want to like see how well you remember the Spain World Cup team, the Spain Euro team. But don't they basically have the Spain Euro team here?
So they have Yamal. They should have had Pedri, Gavi, Olmo. Uh,
Who's Rafinha play for? Is he? Oh, he's Brazil. Yeah.
Brazilian.
Um,
I don't know if Pau Kubasi was in the squad for Spain. I can't remember.
but he's Spanish, right?
Yeah, he's a young boy coming through. He's brilliant.
Oh, 17-year-old starting center back? That's
Yeah,
fucking
no, this
golden.
doesn't happen. Yeah, Xavi left them in a really good position. I don't know who Balde plays for. I think he might be. I don't think he's French.
Koundé is French, right?
Koundé's French. Yeah, Koundé's a thing. I guess we learned now. I learned a bit of Spanish. I guess that means bucket.
Spanish tackle left back, yeah.
Spanish. Okay, interesting.
So we literally have one, two, three, four, five starting Spanish players out of 11. Like that might be one of the reasons why the squad's doing so well is because like literally it's the same squad.
Yeah.
These players,
But
I think
Pedri,
continuity says a lot. We're talking
Pedri,
a lot about like Real Madrid and Barcelona where they were literally the Spanish team, and that
yeah,
does help. That does help, having the same guys around you.
legendary Barca team of like the 2009 to 2011. I think it was 8 for 8, like 8 starters at Barca with the 8 starters for Spain. Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets. That's basically the midfield. You had David Villa up top. You had Pedro on the wing. You literally had the fucking team: Carlos Puyol, Gerard Piqué, Jordi Alba. Like it was literally 8 out of fucking 11 were
Yeah.
Barca team that were the fucking Spain team, and it was
Especially on a national team, that helps you a lot. That helps you a lot on a national team because
imagine
you have less
so
time together.
2008 they win the Euros. 2009 Barca win the Champions League. 2010 they win the World Cup. 2011 Barca win the Champions League. 2012 they win the Euros again. They retain it.
Yeah.
2013 Barca wins the league, and then it kind of starts. 2015 by then it's changed a lot, but those
Yeah.
5 years, that's insane. That's crazy.
Is Szczesny, is he injured?
I was going to ask you. I think he might have been replaced. I think there's a new boy they're trying out in goal. Juve. I don't even know if Chesney's still at Juve or if he's been moved.
No, he's at Barca.
Get the fuck out. When did he move to Barca? This guy's had a hell of a career. He was obviously back up to Stegen, but that's crazy that he's playing for Barcelona. That's mad. Good on him.
He's really good. I mean, he's 34, which is young for a keeper.
He's been around for a while as I remember him in his Arsenal days. The Carling Cup final with him and Koscielny got into a mix-up and Birmingham beat them in 2011 was a bit of a heart-wrencher.
I'm kind of pissed that Pedri and Yamal are like outshining Gavi because Gavi's kind of been my favorite of the young ones.
He's
But
had it,
like we're
hasn't he? Gavi has.
yeah. And then Rafinha just like jumped up. But like if you look last year, Gavi was starting every game.
Oh,
He was either on the left wing or
Pedri, Gavi were Xavi's favorite people. Like those were his set. Like even before Yamal came onto the scene, like it was Pedri and Gavi that were the big hopes for Spain. Gavi gets
yeah.
in 2 weeks before the tournament starts. Everyone's like, "Oh, they're fucked," and then
Yeah, and then we
they
saw what
couldn't win
happened.
anyway. Fucking rat.
Um, all right, do we have any I have a movie night with my girlfriend. We're watching Wedding Crashers. Do you remember the redheaded girl from Wedding Crashers?
Isla Fisher?
Yeah, like but do you remember the character?
No, I do not. I do not. I know she was nuts. I remember she was crazy.
Yeah, no, my girlfriend. I was watching a clip from that movie today, and I was just like, "Fuck, I'm dating Isla Fisher from Wedding Crashers." Like literally, my girlfriend. I think she's giving me that exact speech without having seen the movie, where she's like, "I will kill you." Yeah, but so we covered. There's not that much to talk about Liverpool right now. I mean, we've had we're in a little bit of a rough patch. Um,
Draws, just keep tying a bunch of games. Because I realized the other day, I was like, they don't need to lose games. They just draw like 10 games and they've thrown it away. That's all I need is for you lot to just keep tying a few games and then.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first big test for Arnie Slot. If he can get us out of this phase. I mean, but even like both of us in our mind are like, oh, Liverpool is doing so shit right now. It's like win, tie, win,
Yeah,
win. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, we're doing bad, but like we're not doing that bad. We're kind of still
no, for
doing
sure.
well, but.
Sure, yeah. It's just the high standards you set, and then obviously everyone starts getting. When you're shit, you're shit. When you're great, you're great. And there's always just extremes in between.
Yeah, but I this is the first big test for Arnie Slot. I think. Well, the second big test, the City Real time was the first big test, but then like, can he bring us out of this? We don't know. We'll find out this weekend. Is Man U back? We'll find
Uh,
out this weekend.
I don't know.
Can Arsenal ever win a trophy? We will not find out this weekend.
Well,
Can Chelsea? Sorry, what?
Man City ever win a game again? Hopefully not. Like, imagine they do so poorly. Like, this is unimaginable. But imagine those 115 charges are gonna fuck them up anyway. And even before they do that, they fuck themselves up and finish like 18th. Like they get
I
relegated or something
I
like that.
really think like I've been saying this for like a year or so, ever since the Chargers have gotten dropped. Well, I mean that was like 2, 3 years ago, but like this has kind of been my prediction for Man City has been the case is going to stay in limbo
Yeah.
until Man City have a truly disappointing season, and then the FIA is going to go to Man City and be like, "Look, we protected you."
Now you shit. When you're the face of the league, is one thing, but now you're one of the people now, so you're gonna have to get it like Nottingham Forest and Everton did.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's more of like, look, like why let a good thing, why destroy a good thing? You know what I mean? But like, what's this to kind of destroy? It's like, look, now you have to pay the piper.
Yeah.
We'll allow Pep Guardiola to resign gracefully without this hanging over his head. We'll allow you to sell Holland, but you have 3 weeks, and 3 weeks we're dropping it. And then I think Man City get relegated. I think that they obviously come back the next year. And it doesn't even matter that much because like, PPP doesn't apply to the championship. So like, the fact that they're losing money on wages doesn't really matter that much to them. So they can just
No, but the question is, will the players stay to play in the championship? Will they be able to fill the stadium? There's a lot of like intricate things that happen. I think if City get relegated, I think they're fucked. The whole thing will just come crashing down. They've had a good decade and a bit, and they'll go back to mediocrity for the rest of their time. You don't recover from something like this because they don't have the history. They don't have the pedigree of like a Liverpool or United, where like, dude, Nottingham Forest were the best team in the 80s. They won back-to-back European Cups. They were
yeah.
top dogs. Brian Clough, they were untouchable for 20 years. And all of a sudden now it's taken them 20 years to get back into the league. They're just back in now, the last 2 years.
But you have to realize one thing with City though is that like they have an advantage that these other clubs don't, which is that they have this unlimited money source. And like if the owners are like, look, we'll just lose money for a year. It's fine. And
Well,
then we'll
will the players stay though? Will the players want to be playing in the championship? You got to look at it from a PR perspective. Other clubs up and coming. Do you want to not win? Look at Juventus, the biggest club in Italy by far. Even though Milan have the 7 European Cups, Juve is the biggest club in Italy. When they went down, yeah, a few loyal players stayed, like your Buffons, your Chiellini's, your whoever. But that's because Juve are the biggest club. City are not that. If City go down, I think a lot of motherfuckers, a lot of these rats jump ship, and
I,
it's
I
over.
I think what they're gonna do is they're going to allow a couple of rats off the ship first.
They're trying to leave
Pep,
now, dude. Edison's been in talks to leave the club since last summer.
yeah,
Joyner's basically been flirting with Saudi. Bernardo Silva's been trying to get to Barcelona for the last 2, 3 years. Gundogan left and came back. He's finished.
yeah,
They've been trying to leave when they're top dogs.
that's true.
Imagine Walker should have been at Sheffield United. He's fucking dog shit. Walker's the biggest fucking idiot. I hope he actually stays and fucking goes down with them. So when you have a club where the players are kind of already half looking because they've achieved everything, it's an end of the cycle. You need the new ones to come in. But if you're in the championship, as rich as you are, whatever, you're not gonna get those new boys coming in. There's gonna be a disruptance. And
Yeah,
if
that's
it
fair. I really think that like I think that they get punished. I think that they go down the championship. I think they easily win the championship. Like even if they only have like 3, 4 of the top players that stay, I think they win the championship without a problem. And
yeah,
then I think that they get promoted again. They spend a couple of years as like a 10 to 12 club, but then in 5, 6 years they're back. I want them to lose at least 1 or 2 trophies. I think that it's
yeah.
right for them to
And
do
if
that.
they lose a couple of league titles, let them come to United. I think there's one that goes to Liverpool, two that come to United. That'll give us some
I'm
breathing.
I'm okay with them even leaving it vacant. I mean, like just to be objective, like I'm okay if Liverpool doesn't even get the title. Like I just want it to be vacant. They
Fair
did
enough.
not deserve that title, but um, will it is Nottingham Forest for real? We're changing our opinions every single day.
Nah, they ain't.
AFC Bournemouth, what the fuck are they doing? Number 6, like seriously.
Don't get me.
Um,
Yeah, he's doing it very.
I I meant to say this earlier, I forgot to, but I completely agree with you. Like, I don't think that Nottingham Forest is ending up top 4, but I don't think that Manchester City is either. I think that you're right. It's gonna be Brighton, Tottenham, or Aston Villa that end up top
I
four.
wouldn't even put United in there just because, yeah, we could win 2, 3 games and then we could lose to Forest. Onana could turn into Onana from last year. I don't think we lack that belief and consistency at the moment. That could change if we get some signings in January. Let's see what they're going to do. But as of
Yeah.
right, I think United finished like 7th or 8th again this year. I don't see us.
Do we have any other stories to cover? And anything else
One
big?
last question, just a super quick one. New boy at Red Bull, what do you think? I know that obviously Sergio Perez left, and they got this new young boy in for.
Oh yeah, we can talk about F1 a little bit. So this is a big controversy. So the first one is Checo Perez left. I mean, Checo Perez should have been gone for like the whole year. I kind of have a conspiracy. So I have a million conspiracy theories about F1. F1 is a sport that I just let me say this. So I watch every race. I watch F1 over soccer, except for Liverpool. Um, it's honestly like such a fun thing to watch. But so with Checo, my conspiracy theory is so at the beginning of the year, the reason why Red Bull sucked this year is because we there did you hear at all about the blow up that happened in January?
No. Well, is that with the
So
Christian Falk? No, not Christian Falk.
yeah,
Yeah.
Christian Horner
Yeah,
sending the dick pics. The
yeah.
reason why that happened is because Jos Verstappen, Max Verstappen's dad, they were kind of doing a power play against Christian Horner, so
Oh,
they
yeah,
leaked that to the media.
yeah.
And during that, Adrian Newey, who is our car designer, left. And that's the reason why the team has been so shit this year, is because Adrian Newey wasn't there and our car has been terrible. So my conspiracy theory is that so Max Verstappen can leave whenever he wants. Like that's just the fact of it. And my conspiracy theory is the reason why Max stayed is they made a deal with Max. So how should I say this? Like a really important thing for drivers is to win independent of their team. If a driver wins the drivers championship and the team wins the constructors championship, then people will just say, "Oh, you only won because you had the best car," right? And so what I think that they did was they made a deal with Checo and Christian Horner where they're like, "Look, keep Checo. We want Checo to suck all year because Checo sucked the year beforehand. And what we want to happen is we want Red Bull to finish fourth in the constructors or third. That way, when Max wins the constructors, it's that much more impressive. And I think that they decided to do that. And the big problem for them is that so every space is worth like tens of millions of dollars. And that matters a lot if you're like an eighth place team or a sixth place team. Even the top four teams, there's a cost cap. So like the amount of money you win doesn't matter because like you're able to find money, right? Like it's not an issue. But with those regulations, there's something called wind tunnel time, which is basically the time that you're like F1 is so crazy regulated, but there's a certain amount of time that each team is allowed to have a car in the wind tunnel. And um the worst teams get more time, which I think is fucked up. Like I hate all these advantages for bad teams. And so there's a whole new set of regulations coming next year. So I think in 2026. So I think what Red Bull said is they're like, look, we're going to suck in the drivers with the constructors championship to help Max his legacy. He's now one of two drivers in history to win the drivers championship twice without his team winning the constructors championship. Michael Schumacher has never done that. Lewis Hamilton's never done that. Fangio's never done that. Prost has never done that. Like this is a historic thing, right? So they get that. They get more wind tunnel time, which helps them in 2026 and they lose money, but who the fuck cares, right? So I think that's kind of what happened this year, and it was the inevitable Checo. Also, Checo brings a huge amount of sponsorship money in South America, and so they were like, "Look, this is." I think it was all prearranged. That being said, a controversial thing with this Liam Lawson pick is that there's a guy. So Red Bull has Red Bull, and then we have the Red Bull Junior team, and on the Junior team, we've had this guy named Yuki Tsunoda for 4 years now. And Yuki Tsunoda, so the reason why, how should I say this? I both feel bad for him and I also think it's justified. Yuki Tsunoda is only on Red Bull, only in the squad, because Honda was our engine constructor. And Honda said, you need to have a Japanese driver. This type of stuff in F1 is very explicit. It's kind of implicit in other sports. In F1 is explicit, right? They're like, look, we need a Japanese driver to sell our shit in Japan. So they're like, okay, we'll bring in Yuki Tsunoda. The problem is that Yuki Tsunoda has turned out to actually be very good. But Christian Horner and Helmut Marko, the guys in charge, don't like Yuki because they're like, this guy's been forced on us. Like he's not our guy. And so Yuki, over the course of the past 2 years, has proven that he deserves the seat. But Christian Horner and Helmut Marko have kind of just decided we're not giving it to him. So there's this other kid that came in named Liam Lawson. I can talk about that for another 10 minutes, but I'm not going to waste our viewers' time. But basically, he leapfrogged Yuki Tsunoda and he got the seat. Although there is another theory. So 3 years ago, they also had two young drivers who they were deciding who to pair with Max, Pierre Gasly and Alex Albon. And Pierre Gasly got promoted first, and then he got demoted within 5 races because he just sucked. And then Alex Albon got the seat. So they could be doing that where they're putting out Liam Lawson and they're like, look, we got a backup. And Alexander Albon ended up doing worse than Pierre Gasly, but because there was nobody else to take his spot, he got his spot for 2 years. So it might be one of the seasons where, like, look, we're going to roll the dice with Liam Lawson, and if he doesn't work out, we get Yuki Tsunoda, because that's way better than the other way around, where they go out with Tsunoda, and they don't know how good Liam Lawson is because he only raced like 6 races. So,
there's a lot of drama behind this. It's like a soap opera.
dude, there is so much fucking drama at F1. It is all about the fucking drama. It is fucking crazy.
Real Housewives of F1. Fucking hell, Jesus.
There's also a funny thing. So, this will be the last thing I say about F1. But we'll talk. Here, how about this? We'll do like 5 minutes on on last season every episode until next season. How about that? Just for you to get into it, and then also for our viewers. So there's some other drama. So basically, like throughout the season, Lando Norris we've talked about this extensively. He was like challenging, and the problem with Lando Norris is that he's kind of like a Neymar type figure where he is a fun guy. He's undeniably talented, but he does not have the heart of a champion. And Max Verstappen, they were literally best friends their entire career until race 10. And then race 10, it looked like Lando was going to challenge him, and Max Verstappen just fucking destroyed his soul. And they literally became like worse enemies. And then once it looked like Lando Norris was no longer in contention, once he was mathematically eliminated, best friends again. Now they're best friends. But there's this driver, he's a British driver named George Russell for Mercedes, and he stepped up. He was like, George Russell was basically like, look, the battle next year is going to be me versus Verstappen. I'm calling it out. And even though these 3 races don't mean anything in terms of the championship, because I'm eliminated, he's won, I'm going to fight him and show that next year is all about us. 2 minutos, baby. Per favor. Tamo. And so they literally like went at it like the entire fucking time. And then there was a driver's dinner and like the end of the year driver's dinner. And Lando Norris was telling the story, and he was like, Max arrived there like second, and I was there, and all the drivers were like, nobody sit next to Max, so that George Russell has to sit next to him. And then literally the entire grid filled up, and then George Russell came in, and there was Max, and there was an empty seat next to him, and Max was just like, hey, George, I saved a seat for you. And George Russell didn't say anything. He literally picked up the seat and walked to the other side and sat down next to Lewis Hamilton.
That's hilarious.
Here, I'm going to play this one last video, because my girlfriend's about to kill me, but I want to show this video just because it's hilarious. You can still hear me, right?
Yeah, definitely.
¿Qué es ClickUp? ClickUp es un software de productividad todo en uno, donde gestionas todo lo relacionado con...
Hi, George. Sorry that I'm going to ask you
what Max said. The same way as in the race, no, to someone who thinks he's above the law. Max Lando is part of racing.
So this whole video is like 11 minutes, but I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm just going to play a little bit. But he literally went on this like rant about Max.
But the words he said are totally unnecessary. He's crossed the line, and I'm not going to accept it. So, you know, somebody has to stand up to someone who thinks he's above the law.
Oh wait,
Yeah, George, about that.
Oh, Sky Sports. Here we go. Yeah. Slow sports news.
the fuck?
Told you, slow sports news. Terrible website, terrible company.
Oh wait, you can see this one now?
Yeah.
Here it is. Yeah, so you can see the TikTok screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
He cannot deal with the personal. I have no idea why he's done that. And he cannot deal with adversity. Whenever anything is not going his way, he lashes out with unnecessary anger and borderline violence. We've seen it in Brazil in the past with Ocon. You saw it in 21 with Lewis, and then Mexico with Lando. First race of the year in Budapest when he didn't have the most dominant car, crashes into Lewis, slamming his whole team. That is not a guy who I respect.
he's a bully. George Russell's such a little fucking bitch, but yeah, no, it's hilarious. He was like crying. Anyway, George Russell, fuck that dude, fuck George Russell. I was actually team George Russell for a while. That team George Russell,
I'm still gonna back him as an Englishman. It might be next year we'll have a rivalry. You pick your boy Max, I'll be like, come on, George, let's get a rivalry going here. Let's fucking.
So I was defending George, and the reason why is because George, not in that clip, but that clip he seems like a sniveling cunt. But George generally, like, he seems like the bad guy from like a rom-com, like the rich ex-boyfriend of your girlfriend. But he's actually a really nice guy, and here's some background, and then I know you have to go, I know I have to go, but basically what happened is Max. So it's like an F1. I mean, similar in football, there are like different levels to fouls and things, right? And Max did like a foul or like a whatever it's called. I forgot what it's called. And like it was a ticky-tack thing. He basically like braked too quickly or something. And George Russell and Max got pole position, which is like first place in qualifying. And Max has had a shitty car all season. Max is used to getting pole position every weekend. He hadn't gotten pole position in 15 weekends. 15 races, not even weekends, races. So he was ecstatic. He was like, finally, I'm fucking back. George Russell went to the stewards, who are like the refs of F1, and literally cried his eyes out to get Max Verstappen a one-place grid penalty. And then Max Verstappen went up to him, and apparently, although I completely believe this, he said, I'm going to put you in the fucking wall. He's like the exact quote is, you're not going to lead the race out of turn one. I'm either going to pass you or I'm going to put you in the fucking wall. And George Russell, which by the way, you have to respect that. That's a fucking killer. And George Russell goes to the media and he's just like, children want to get forward. And he said it's fucking wall. And you're like, but you're the one. He said that to you in private. He didn't say it to you in the media. Anyway, so that's what happened. And then Max Verstappen passed him in turn one, won the race, and then George Russell was like, "You're so bully, you're so bully." Anyway, I'm excited. Actually, it'd be nice. You could be a Mercedes fan next year. I'm gonna be a Red Bull fan, and we're gonna do some shit talking.
Yeah, keep it interesting.
All right, dude.
All right, man. Have a good one, yeah?
You too.
Take care.
Take care.